What's happening, guys? This is Butcher. This is in-depth game analysis that I'm gonna start doing. I haven't actually done a video like exactly like this or in this concept. Like basically, this is a replay. I'm just gonna commentate over it, and I picked this replay on purpose, just to point out something in general that happens in Dota. Basically, coming back and ganks and giving up and that kind of thing. So. I'm gonna, yeah. But basically, what's gonna happen in this game? I'm gonna get ganked a bunch of times, and we're gonna see like I'm gonna say what to do and what not to do in situations like this, and just general level of concentration that should be going into each game. Now I'm gonna get a little bit into this. So basically, when you play Dota, I mean, there's two kinds of people, right? There's people that play for fun, like all for fun, just to play the game, just to play the game. They're not really looking to improve, and that's completely fine. And then there's other people that play and they want to get as good as possible, as fast as possible, and they don't really want to waste time. And there's people like in between that. I mean, you usually want to have fun, but you want to get better too. Like nobody likes to lose and stay at the same point every single game. So every time you play Dota, I would suggest that was really close, but yeah, whatever. Every time you play Dota, try to put in as much effort and as much concentration into it as you can. So like, he has a ward here. That's why he could see all the hooks. Okay, but basically, Dota is a very similar game. Like if you're playing mid every single game, right? There's a couple of things that's gonna happen every game, and there's only like so many heroes, and after you played all of them, against all of them, you're gonna know what to do. You're always gonna have ganks incoming, so just map awareness. So always look at the map, and if the supports are missing, and if they do even have supports to gank you, always be looking out for that kind of stuff. This game I'm really not because I'm really not that concentrating. But shame on me, I should have been concentrating and seeing that they have Avenge and an Earthshaker, and they could easily like gank me and kill me. And even though I was under tower, I should have been paying attention to that. Like here, I see them, so I back off. But I could have prevented that gank, or I could have played a little bit better to prevent that. So basically, give all of your concentration to a game. Every single game, know and now and analyze your game and look at the composition of each team. Like who has a carry, who doesn't have a carry, who should I target, who should I not target. Depends on the hero that you play too. So give it as much effort and I mean try to be aggressive, but like see here, like I'm getting owned. I'm straight up getting owned. Like they're trialing me mid, they're ganking me. I mean they're playing well, but I already died twice in mid, right? And like things are looking very bad, and a lot of people are gonna give up at this point. And good thing I didn't have a team that was gonna give up early, and that's a common thing you see in Dota. Is whenever people on your team see that you're doing bad, or they see that you're dying, basically. This Viper is playing pretty well. Like he knows how to play against a pudge. So I mean these are good players, but basically like nobody's like shit talking me in this game at least. Like oh dude pudge feeder, there's no point in playing because pudge is feeding. If they looked at the context, like they saw that I was not really like I couldn't really do much about it. Like I could have prevented it to a certain degree, but I mean I'm not Dendi. Like I have room to improve, right? And this guy's playing well, and everybody's playing well. But basically I'm not giving up. I'm trying to soak up as much experience as possible every time he's leaving the lane. I'm trying to focus on last hits, and basically he's level 5 and I'm level 5, so we're about the same level. It's not that bad because every time I die, the experience has been split amongst 3 people. So it's not that bad, even though that I died twice and this Viper is getting complete free farm. Like, you know, it could be worse. Okay, well he's got boost DD, but yeah, see, like I'm getting ganked again. And I don't have a ward there, but I should have been expecting it because Earthshake was missing off the map. I'm not really sure, yeah, I died here. I think he lives. So basically I died 3 times in 4 minutes or 5 minutes. That's considered feeding. Like, you shouldn't give up at any point in the game. Just because, like, whatever. Like, just keep playing, you're gonna see what happens. Like, okay, so now my biggest concern is not to keep dying. That's when you feed, you want to just trade experience, trade farm, and you don't want to keep feeding. And that's why I got my own wards. See, I don't even have boots. I don't even have boots. I don't even have a bottle. I don't have anything, right? And I calculated into the game like I'm not ever gonna get boots, so I just got wards so I wouldn't die. So I'm putting wards around so that this shit doesn't happen again. And still, I'm pretty much. He's level 6. Well, he's one level higher than me, but it's not a big deal. Um, okay, see? See, I took advantage. Now there's nobody in the lane. I landed a pretty good hook on their tower, and I killed him, even though he was a level higher than me. So now we're basically even. Like, basically, right now, I got back into the game. I'm actually high level than him. I'm level 7. He's level 6, I think. But, I mean, it's pretty close. But I'm actually high level than him, even though my score is 1 and 3. I haven't gotten the experience for the first kill on Viper. He died to the tower, but I basically gotten the experience for 1 kill. But because he was higher level than me, I got more experience for that kill than he got off of the 3 kills on me because the supports were there. Every time you get a solo kill, you get so much more out of it, and especially if you get a kill on their highest level. And Viper was their highest level, and I didn't know that they had a ward here. I should have figured it out. But I mean, like, see, the odds were against me. Like, from the beginning of the game, they had a ward here, and I was immediately at a disadvantage. Like, so I mean, this game is good to show you how to deal with a pudge. If you want to deal with a pudge, see how they put 2 wards here and here where it just expired. That's how you deal with a pudge. If you see him, you can dodge this hook pretty easily. Like, I mean, it's pretty simple. And they put the wards out early, so I wouldn't land the hook. So here it was pretty lucky that I landed the hook on Viper. If I wouldn't have landed that hook, this game would have been a lot harder because he would have been like level 8. I would have still been like level 6 or something like that. So now I'm trading farm. I'm trying to get, like, okay, I have 13 last hits. He's got probably a lot more. He's got 33. He's winning on farm, but I mean that's a good thing about pudge. Like, you're not really relying on farm that much, but it's still, I mean, it still helps. Like, the more farm you have, the better. Also, another point I want to bring up is that Pudge, even though he's a ganking hero, and it's like you always want to be off the map and looking for hooks, Pudge can be really strong late game. I'm actually coming out with a couple of videos where I'm gonna play carry Pudge, like with a Midas straight up, and Midas works very well with Pudge's because he has high damage, and the attack speed from Midas actually helps a lot. And you can go like Shivas or AC, and then you stack up that armor. Eh, that's pretty lucky, but I mean, I saw it. Yeah, it was pretty coincidence, but whatever. But you could stack up armor, and you're gonna be really tanky. You're gonna be strong in the game. If you got Ags, you could do so much damage late game. Pudge is not a bad late game hero. It's just that people never farm on him, so he's not treated like a late game hero. But Pudge in late game is actually pretty strong. I mean, have you ever played a bunch that goes like the Force Staff, Shiva's, Heart, Blade Mail build or BKB or Blink or something like that's pretty rough. Like, he becomes so tanky it's hard to kill him. And if you don't have a lot of DPS, then you can't really kill him that much, you know? So it's just something to think about. What else? Okay, so now I'm 3-3-0, so I'm not actually that bad, even though I died like 3 times in the first like 4 minutes or something. I was straight up feeding, but I mean, you can come back. And because they were ganking with 3 people, and I died, it wasn't that big a deal because the experience was spread out. However, if Viper killed me 3 times solo by himself in a lane, then that's really bad because the Viper would have gotten so many levels off of that, and this game would have been completely different. And the biggest thing is that the supports were wasting a lot of time ganking me. Like, they were soaking up Viper's experience off of the creeps. And here, I knew that he had a ward. I knew that he had a ward somewhere, so I went back and smoked. And because they have a ward there, he was like very confident that Pudge is not here because he had vision, and I'd smoke. So that's a good tip too. Like, I assumed he was gonna have a ward. I assumed he was gonna dodge it. And before this, I couldn't really land my hooks because he was dodging them very well. As you can see, like early in the game, like he came up and he dodged the hooks. He knew exactly when or when not to move or what to do. So I used the smoke. That's a good tip. That's how you use smoke. Like, they don't see you, so they're going in a straight line. They don't see you. Like, the smoke is a good thing. Good thing to use. Try it on your games. What was I talking about? Yeah, the solo experience. The supports were wasting a ton of time ganking me. They ganked me 3 times. So basically, for the first 5 minutes of the game, the supports were nowhere top. And I'm not gonna finish this game completely, but basically, I'm gonna summarize that Slark got out of control. Like he's already level 8, so he was a lot more free top lane than he would have been if the supports were there. Like the supports were basically not there, so they killed me a bunch of times, but it wasn't that bad because Slark was trading farm with the Morphling, and Slark got his levels, and then he was strong early game. So basically, anytime you get ganked a bunch of times, like look at the big picture. Like the small picture is that Pudge died 3 times in the first 5 minutes. That's very bad, right? But the big picture is that the amount of time they were wasting to kill me gave Slark enough space, and when the supports were kept ganking me, they wasted all their mana and everything to not gank our carry. So I mean, like, it's good and bad. The best way to deal with a Pudge is to gank him once or twice with the supports. Don't keep like camping him mid because you're just gonna take away experience from your actual mid. But basically, uh, once you gank Pudge once or twice and you don't gank him for the next like 5 or so minutes, like he's gonna be very passive. He's not gonna be able to touch the creeps, and if he's lower level than the mid, then he can't really do much. Like Pudge relies on levels, so if Pudge is level 5 and the mid is like level 7, like a Viper, it's very hard to kill the Viper unless you hook him under tower or something, and there's a low chance of that happening. But basically, the Pudge is always afraid of the ganks. So if you don't gank him, he's wasting a lot of time because he's playing real passive. But the supports can actually be ganking somewhere else, and they could be doing good things. So if you kill a mid like 5 times in a row with 2 supports camping there, it's probably, even though you're winning on kills, you're sacrificing so much farm, and you're probably not supporting your carry in your safe lane as much as you can be. And this is a very specific situation, but I hope you get the gist of what I'm talking about. Like, there's always a big picture in Dota 2. And the cool thing about this game is that it's the same thing every single time. You always have a carry, you always have supports, you always have a mid, you always have an offlane. So if you play it a bunch of times and you concentrate when you do it, and you think about it, and you're like, you learn from the mistakes that you do, you're going to be like, okay, cool, like, I've learned from my mistakes. That's why you need to lose a couple of games to get better. I mean, there are some pros that play only for like 1 or 2 years of Dota, but they gotten really good because of the amount of effort they put into the game, the amount of concentration. Like they learn very, very fast, which is, I mean, not many people can do, and they take the game seriously. Fuck, man, I lose my train of thought so often. But yeah, if you keep losing to the same things, like for example, this is a big problem for me. Like it took me forever to learn it, and I still have this problem. I play a mid, right, and I don't look at the map as often. Map awareness is not there, so even if I don't have wards, their supports are ganking me. I should be able to sense or see that they're off the map, and I'm gonna be like, okay, they're off the map, they're probably ganking me, or there's a high chance that they're ganking me, so I need to really like get behind the tower, because it's better not to die and just get experience than to go for like one creep and then die because the supports are ganking you. And you can't blame it on your supports. Sometimes you're not gonna have wards, especially in pubs, so you need to learn how to play without wards. You need to learn how to have map awareness. If you get ganked once and you keep coming back in lane and feeding, you're not learning off of it. So then, like, that's the worst thing. Like, you're just dying to the same thing over and over again, then you're just stupid. But if you die to it, like, once or twice or the first couple of games, but then you learn from it, and you get better, and you're going to be like, okay, expecting it, and always expect your opponent to be good. Don't be like, oh, fuck, I'm watching Stark, I'm not even watching myself. My bad. But, yeah, don't expect the opponent to be bad. Don't rely on your opponent to be bad. Don't rely on the opponent to buy ward, to not buy wards, to not buy smoke, to not protect their carry. Like if you play against a team with like 5 carries and they're really bad and you go like 30-0 with a hero, don't be really that proud of it because it was an easy game, you know? Like the best games are the ones where you beat good players and you just outplay them, or like you did something that they didn't expect. You'd outplay them. Like I don't know. Okay, I'm basically gonna wrap this game up, but basically we win. This game we win due to our teamwork and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, the players are pretty good, but the opponent was not bad. See, the Earthshaker, the Merciful Spirit, the Viper, they weren't bad. Like I couldn't own the Viper by myself. I got lucky. Well, not lucky, but I didn't land that many hooks off of him. I didn't snowball, but I still did very, very well because I mean, look at the levels. Like at the end of the day, I have I'm the highest level in the map. Yeah, I'm level 11, and Legion's level 11. But yeah, I mean here, like I'm gonna go. But at the end of the game, like okay. I'm basically beating a dead horse here, but and this commentary's been pretty long, but I hope you learned something. If you learned something, comment, like. If you have any suggestions for future videos or critiques or whatever, leave in the comment section below. Peace out, guys.